What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups, and in this video we are talking about 3 pet peeves that just get under my skin when it comes to game collecting. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. Okay, so I have done a pet peeves video on this channel before, but this is not going to be the same. This is talking about 3 new things that get under my skin, and honestly, I wish they weren't a thing, because honestly, it sucks when these things happen. So what I'm going to do is kind of run through it, tell you guys kind of a little bit of a rant on my end about problems I have with retro video game collecting and game collecting in general. So we're gonna dive deep into this and tell you guys some of my pet peeves when it comes to retro game collecting. The first on this list of pet peeves is scratched discs. And if you can see this disc, you can tell that it is scratched up. If it'll focus, it's scratched up. You should see the bottom of this. I will be able to resurface it this time, but it is a scratched disc of Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PlayStation 2. But normally, games suck to play if they are scratched. If you don't have a disc surfacer like I have, which is a JFJ Easy Pro, I'll put that down in the link below. I'll put a link to Amazon for you guys if you are interested whatsoever in picking one up. I highly suggest it. I've got a video about it, but scratch discs are the worst. Whenever you get something that looks like this and you want to play that game because it's a fun game, but you can't because nothing can fix this, it's just a very big bummer. Like, how hard is it to get a case and put that game in it? Now, I know there's certain things, like if kids have games, they just kind of take the games and kind of set them down wherever, they get scratched up, they pick it back up. Don't worry, this does not work, and I've tried to resurface it. It cannot be fixed because there are a few scratches that are just too deep. So I wanted to show you guys kind of an example, because kids do this. Kids mess it up, it gets stuck on things, it gets notches out of it. It doesn't work when this happens, and that is a killer thing. Whenever you have a game that you go out, you buy it for super cheap, and you spend $3 on a $30 game, you get home, you're like, man, I've never played this before, I want to play it, I'm excited about it. You put it in the system, and it doesn't even show up. Or worse, it does show up, like these games. These GameCube games are both Medal of Honor and Lord of the Rings. They both show up as games. Whenever you start into it, it does not work. It kills me. Like, I wish I could get them to work, but no amount of fixing them is gonna fix these or this, and that's kind of what sucks. My pet peeve number 1 is when you get discs that are so scratched up that you can't even play them. It just makes it for a bad day, because you found that game you've been waiting months for, you find it, and then it turns out to be absolutely nothing, and you're just like, I spent $5, I spent $10, it doesn't work. Now, the cool thing is some places you can return it to, but it depends on where you get it. If you get it from a Goodwill or a thrift store or a pawn shop, you probably can't take it back, which sucks so much. Now, if you get it from a game store, like a local game store, a regional game store like Vintage Stock in my area, or like GameStop, you could probably get it returned and either get the same game or get credit back for it. So that is why I have this as my first pet peeves, is because it sucks when you get home and you've got a disc that is absolutely scratched up. So number 2 pet peeve is fake games, and here I've got a fake. Let's see if we can get it to focus on it. Nope. Okay, so here we go. We've got a fake one, and this sucks. This is Pokemon Emerald, and if you know anything about Pokemon games, you know that they get faked almost all the time. I can't tell you how many Pokemon games I have seen that have been faked. Now, when I bought this, I figured it was fake, and I was not surprised because just looking at it, it looks super fake. It looks off on the label, the color of the cart looks off, and the board is totally off. So I knew what I was getting when I picked this up because this was actually in a bundle of other games, and I knew that, hey, this is going to be a fake game. If it works, cool, and I can play it a little bit, but it does, honestly, that's what's another issue. But I bought it because the other games in the bundle were real. They were Pokemon games that I didn't have, and I knew that I could pick them up and play them and have fun. Now, the thing that I don't like about fake game is when they try to be over the top fake. Now, there are some games that are faked on purpose, and you can tell this is a fake game. It says reproduction, it's just for show, or maybe it's a different color cart than what it should be. Like, you see NES games that look like this. But honestly, it's hard whenever you've got a game that looks this close to pick it up, because people will sell this as real. People will be like, oh cool, I got Emerald, go home, play it, plug it in. It may work, which this one does, which is a good thing at least. Or you may plug it in and it just not even recognize, not even show up. So that's why games that are bought, that are fake, are really crappy. Now, what I try to do when I find fake games, if it's at a retail store, I'll say, hey, that looks like a fake game, and here's why. And if they have a problem with it, I'll say, hey, I'm not trying to hurt you or anything, I'm just letting you know that looks fake, and here's why. Be nice about it if you see it, and hopefully those places are smart enough to think about it and fix that and take it off the shelves. Now, if I see a game like this that is in a bundle and it's worth the bundle, I'll pick it up and keep them around. Like, I have a few over on the floor over there that I just know that, hey, these are fake games, don't worry about them. But it sucks when it happens because there are so many. On this channel, I've actually talked about it. One time I bought a Super Smash Brothers for really cheap on the Nintendo 64. I mean really cheap, on Mercari, and I wondered if it was going to be real or fake, and it turned out to be fake. But I bought it because if it was fake, I knew that I could just return it to Mercari and they would take care of it because I had the pictures to prove it and everything. So that was way awesome on their end. If you've never picked up Mercari or picked up anything from Mercari, you should definitely check it out because it is one of those things that is a great way that I pick up games. Okay, so let's make it to the last one, and the last one is something that I see all the time and it sucks, and that is high retail prices. What do I mean by high retail prices? I mean whenever you go out, you see a game, you know that game is worth 20 bucks. I've seen this game for sale for 20 bucks. I've bought it for cheaper than 20 bucks, but then it is at a store or a Goodwill or a thrift store for 40, and you're just like, I would have bought that game if it was 20. I would have bought it if it was 20. I wouldn't have gone higher than that. But you're like, I would have picked this up, but it just wasn't worth the price. And I had that happen to me almost. I was this close to passing it up. Today, I'll give you kind of a heads up about it, is I went to some Goodwills and some thrift stores, and I found one Star Wars Battlefront on the Xbox. Now I was like, alright, cool, grabbed it immediately. I saw that it wasn't in the right case first off, and then I opened it up and it was just the disc. So for $4, I was like, I have one of these, should I pass it up, should I pick it up? I ended up picking it up this time because I knew that it wasn't a huge high retail price, and what I'll do is probably bundle it with one of my Xbox original consoles, and if you want one of those, comment down below and we can make a deal. I will always give you guys deals if you are interested. Hit up my Instagram as well, because that is a good place to see what I've got and what I might be selling in the future. But back to the story, I've got this game, I know I have it already. It's an okay deal, so I pick it up and leave. Now, what I have seen before is they've taken that same exact game and put it in the glass case and ask for $35. Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox. Original, not the new one, not when it came out, whoever knows, 10 years ago. Right about a year or two maybe, I found it and I was like, man, I probably would have picked it up. And it wasn't Star Wars Battlefront 2, it was the first one. So that's a $10 game, and I shook my head and was like, why? So that is another thing that really bugs me, is whenever I find games that are out in the wild that are priced way too high. And that's just sad, because I'm like, I'd pick that up, but the price isn't right. So I want to know what your pet peeves are. Comment down below and let me know what your pet peeves are when it comes to game hunting. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification, because it lets you know when I post more videos, which is almost, if not every day. So with that being said, one more time, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you have a good day.